What's going on, everyone? I'm Cody with 357 Studios, 357's World of Dirt, and you are watching Up to Date, where we keep you up to date on what just happened with our recap show, and now what's coming up this weekend, which would be the Midwest Winter Nationals Week 3. It's going to be a bunch of great racing, and also stay tuned after we check in with Garrett and Tyler for an interview with Brandon Shaw from California, who's in driving the Hubbard car for the last weekend, and then this coming up weekend too. So once we get done with Tyler and Garrett giving their picks and their overview for this weekend coming up, we're jumping the interview with him. So we'll see you then.
Looks like Tyler Rust might have got off the island.
Sure did. We were talking about last podcast. Gave a shout out to Chemstream Race Fuels, and I think they definitely pulled through. They sent us some race fuel that sent me. Well, here I am in outer space. So shout out to them. And now I'm stuck in outer space. So let's just go ahead. I found some signal up here. We'll go ahead and talk about this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, one thing I did need to point out is Monday was International Woman Day. That's my woman. There's my woman. So thank you to my smoking hot wife, Meg, who puts up with me day in and day out and allows me to get on here and act like a fool. So jumping in, we got week 3, the final week of the Midwest Winter Nationals, 2,500 to win, non-wing outlaw. My baby, she's a Chippewa, she's Cherokee outlaw, something like that. Anyways,
One of a kind.
She's one of a kind. She is. Junior sprints. I'd say that we're probably going to see. We don't actually have in front of us who's going to be there. We're kind of going off of who has been there and some of the runs they've had. Definitely going to be looking at J.J. Williams. Been running really good the last 2 weeks. Aiden Robinson. Of course, picked up his first feature win last week. Who knows? We might have Colette Dissero show up. Jackson Live and Jaden Hiller. Hopefully we get to see all them kids back in action and turning some laps. Hopefully they get a few more that join them. I think there's some kids out of West Frankfort that was there last week that talked about coming on. I knew their grandpa. They come up and shook some hands, and I think they're getting ready to get into some junior sprints, a whole pile of them. So that's very exciting for the sport. Who's your pick? Junior sprints, Tyler.
Junior sprints. We may see Titan Coben this weekend. We may see Eli Holden show up again. If Eli Holden shows up again, I'm going to have to go with Eli. If he doesn't show up, J.J. Williams has been strong every single weekend. Him, Aiden Robinson. So my pick, if Eli shows up, I'm going to have to go with Eli because he's looked strong every time he hits the track. And we'll go with that pick, Eli Holden.
I'll tell you what, I think if Colette Dissero comes up, I think she's going to pull one off. That's what I'm hoping for, to see her. I know she didn't get to make it last week, so I'm going to go with her. If she doesn't show up, I'm going to go again with Aiden Robinson. He's been running strong and like to see him put that car. He's got a lot of momentum going on. Go for that. Into restrictors, I think Jackson Wiggs is going to be there this week because the Now 600, which, by the way, he got a feature win last Saturday, had some issues on Sunday. But we're going to have, Jackson Wiggs again. Damon Hick looking very good the last week. Cameron Sneed has been running good. So Billy Live, just there's so many of them. Can't count out Hunter Pruitt. Who's your pick for the restrictors?
I think Hunter Pruitt's going to get done this weekend. I think he's going to pick off one win. If we're running features both nights, then I think Hunter Pruitt's going to be one night. Jackson Wiggs, if he shows up, of course. Jackson and Hunter are my 2 top picks, but Hunter Pruitt's, I think, is going to get that monkey off his back this weekend and get one.
I think so. I'm just going to have to go Jackson Wiggs. He's the hometown guy for me. And his little crew chief Jagger that's just been pounding on his car night in and night out, helping his brother get ready to go. I'm going to go with Jackson Wiggs, but I'm not going to count out Damon Hick. I really like to see Damon Hick get up there and win a feature. So not Hick. So let's look for them guys in the restrictors. A-class this week, taking the wing off. What do you think about that?
Ooh, finally some real racing. Sorry. Winded racers. You know, wing off A class. I mean, if Daniel's running that, Daniel Robinson's my pick. I mean, hands down. Strong non-wing for the past 3 weeks. So Daniel Robinson is going to be my pick for this weekend if he's running A-class non-wing.
Yes, well, you got Daniel Robinson. Shane Hick ran the A-class last week. I think did a really good job for not being in a car in a while, hopping in there and turning some good laps. Lane Warner, you can't count him out. Coming from as the developmental driver for Joe B. Miller. Brandon Shaw, if he takes the wing off and runs the A-class winged, it's hard to tell with what these guys are going to do because they're having the A-class non-wing, and then they're also having the outlaw non-wing. So it's kind of hard to see where these guys are going to go, but you can't count out Darren Nida as well. I think it's really tough not to go with Daniel Robinson. You picked him. I'm going to go with if Brandon Shaw runs it, I'm going to go with him. He ran so good last week in that car, that Hubbard Racing. So that's my pick for the A-class non-wing micros. Up next, they are bringing the winged outlaw back, or the winded outlaw back. Maybe a little typo miss up on the flyer, but that's okay. We know what they meant. One guy that you can't count out because there's not midgets running this week. I see Joe B. Miller coming back this week. Darren Nida, he won a feature last week, 2 weeks ago. For all the classes, I really think that he's good. But then you go back to the first week with Daniel and Joby's winded outlaw going back and forth. I'm trying to sound out winded and winged at the same time. No, who's your picks, Tyler?
If Joby Miller shows up, Joby Miller's gonna be my pick, hands down. I don't see anybody else beating him in the wing class there. He was strong the first time he showed up, whatever it was, 2 Saturdays ago. And he's always really good there in these indoor races with the wing on. Obviously, we watched that down Tulsa. It's a different track, but when it seems like when it's time to shine, and it's especially in the off season when he's ready to get some racing under his belt, he's going to be running at the front and he's going to be coming fast. So Joby Miller would be my pick if he shows up.
One that I didn't think of, he wasn't there last week. Doesn't mean that he's not going to be there this week. Emerson Axum.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's another one too. Like we watched him 2 weeks ago too, run very strong right behind Joby and Daniel. So if he shows up, he's going to definitely be a force to be reckoned with. So it's going to be a pretty good weekend if we see both of those guys on the track.
You got Joby on that one. I think with the momentum. I don't know. I think Emerson Axum's coming in there with some revenge a little bit, not picking up a wing or non-wing win the week before that, 2 weeks ago. I'm going with Emerson Axum if he shows up for winged outlaw. That's who my pick is.
Man, of course, we got money on this because I'm feeling pretty confident in my pick so far.
You know what? Wouldn't it be nice if the dirt draft would do some micro stuff? I mean, I feel like I could really win some points and get a T-shirt on that one. But
for sure,
I've been throwing around the DraftKings. Oh, by the way, Thursday I think Illinois goes live on Sportbooks for Barstool Sports. So we'll be able to bet on some NASCAR here in Illinois. Used to only could do it was at PA, Pennsylvania. I got a lottery ticket for Pennsylvania. Found it today. Thought about it might be worth me driving all the way to Pennsylvania and turn it in. $20.
Grab you a new hyper while you're up there.
Yep, go to PA, cash in the $20, come back. I think that's a good deal. Moving on, outlaw, non-wing outlaw, Cherokee Choctaw, my baby. She's a Chippewa class. Wow, big names in this class, and you want to talk about a win that's up for grabs. And 2,500. Not only 2,500. let's jump into this real quick. I know that there's a few spots left. If you do want to get and sponsor a lap, Talking Circles 357, ultimateplus.nil. I've seen sponsored a handful of laps. The Barn Bar. I've seen a bunch of them on there. Tyler, you were talking about before we got on the show. You might have thought about sponsoring a lap on
I
there.
thought about sponsoring a lap this week, and I actually thought about my good friend, Kyle Masters, which I'm representing his shirt today, about maybe, start maybe doing a little fund me app or a lap, I guess, sponsoring him and his, maybe his return, because he's been retired for a while now. He's getting pretty old. He's losing his hair. He just doesn't want to admit it yet, but he's losing his hair, gaining the weight, and things just aren't, flowing very good. So I made a sponsor lap maybe to get him back in a car in the next year or two. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, Daniel retired, and you see where he's at now. So
on top of the world, I know.
Yeah,
Yes,
never know. You
yes.
bring Masters back and
him in a
be
door
like
for hey, we got mod lights this weekend. He was great in a mod light, and I think that would be fitting for him in a mod light.
Absolutely. I tell you what, and that's going to be good to watch. Something else I was talking to Brad Daniels before we hop into this Outlaw non-wing about how good the track was 2 weeks ago. Me and him talked. There really wasn't two lanes per se this week, maybe because of the car count or whatever. But I think with all these micros being on the track, I think we're going to see a 2-lane racetrack. I think it's going to be back to where it was week one. So hopefully we can get that track back, because it was definitely very fun to watch the cars go around on that track.
For sure.
Outlaw non-wing, Brandon Shaw, Daniel Robinson, Matt Veach, Alex Bergener coming off of a win, Charlie Heck coming off of a good run, Cole Kirkman coming off of a good one. Never count out Darren Nida if Emerson Axum is there, Lane Warner, Joby Miller, Tyler Rusty Wallace, Tyler Rust. If you get off of that spaceship and get down there, take the wing off. I know that you'll definitely be one to contend with. I plan on trying to make it all the laps this week. If not, I'm pulling it in. That's a good seat from the infield. Your thoughts on the Outlaw non-wing?
Outlaw non-wing. Joe B shows up, of course. I hope I'm up there running with him in the closing laps, because he's always fun to run with. So we'll see if that's the case or not. But my pick for the Outlaw non-wing, I think if Emerson Axum shows up in Outlaw non-wing, he may be my pick. I mean, of course, myself first, because, I had to pick myself. I had to be confident. I have to go into the weekend knowing that I can win, which I know we can. We have the equipment and everything to do it. So the driver needs to show up on Saturday, and the driver needs to do his job on Saturday. So if that happens, yes. But no, Joe B, Emerson Axum, Daniel Robinson, top three as far as my picks go, being unbiased, of course.
I'd like to see Matt Veach's luck turn around a little bit this week.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, 3-3 in last week. Kind of got bottled up in one of the turns. Did a little Tommy tip over. But I'd like to see Veach get a good pill draw. Get some points, and if he does that and he's starting up front in the feature, he's definitely going to be one I think that everybody's going to be worried about. Daniel Robinson continuing to carry all of his. Who knows who else is going to show up with no wings on to take everybody for the 2,500 to win. Like I said, laps are still available for sponsors. So if you're looking to do that, go to the Midwest Winter Nationals Facebook page and get a hold of them. I think it's like $55 a lap. It's fun. And finally, last but not least, our big class, big cars, the Mod Lights, be joining us this week instead of the Lightning and the D2s that were the first week. I know we've got the Jarrett Bonzak, we've got Matt Filkins, Billy Joe Beard. We talked a little bit about this earlier today. We just don't know who all's going to be there. Who knows if the Caleb Jones from down in Southeast Missouri, if he makes the drive up there, we don't know. 500 to win for them. Your thoughts, Tyler?
Well, of course, it sounds like if both of us have a pick in this weekend's Mod Light class, Matt Filkins shows up, then sounds like both of us are going to be choosing Matt Filkins on this one. So I mean, it seems like he's winning all the races when he shows up. Wayne County SIR anywhere, so he's always solid. Billy Joe's always right there too if he shows up. So, like you said, we don't know who's going to be there. So, I mean, it's tough to say as far as picks go. But Matt Filkins, if he shows up, is my pick. And by the way, if Matt Filkins does show up, I want to make sure that I am pitted next to Matt Filkins, because every time we have pitted next to Matt Filkins, we have won that night. So he's a very good luck charm. And if anybody's watching this and knows that, don't park next to him, because that's my spot.
Reserved spots. That's going to be hard to do, being that you're only showing up on Saturday, but who knows? Anyways, that rounds out what we got coming up this week at the Midwest Winter Nationals. Stay tuned for more up and coming shows that we have in the future. Once the USAC and the Power Eye and all the other racing in the area gets to coming together and running, this could turn out to be a pretty fun show where we can get some picks in. Oh, throwing out the hat. I don't even have a hat that says Straight to the Seven Studios.
Oh, there it is. Yes. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Hey, sorry, Kyle, for my head. Is it blinding you? Oh,
the light.
I'll put this back on.
It's the light. I can't lose you right
Bring
now.
your sunglasses.
Okay, absolutely. Well, a few people that we do need to thank before we get off here: Ferris Lawn Mowers, ACT Tire and Auto, and of course the people helping you get off that island, Chemstream Racing Fuels. Thank you guys very much. This has been fun, and of course, thank you, my smoking hot wife. This mirror messes me up. Meg Thomas. We will see you guys this weekend.
That is right, Garrett. We will be seeing everybody at the Winter Nationals this weekend for the third and final weekend. Now, don't forget, we have an interview that we had shot just previously with Mr. Brandon Shaw, who's running the 27H car for Hubbard family. Zach Hubbard, who normally runs that car. Be looking for Hollywood across the visor. He's going to be running again this weekend, and we got a chance to catch up with him, do a little interview, see what he thinks about the Winter Nationals so far and what he's thinking about going into the weekend coming up. So check it out. I hope you guys enjoy it. I know you're not used to seeing me, but for those of you who don't know, my name is Cody. I'm with 357 Studios, which you see behind Brandon there, and with 357's World of Dirt. And I'm filling in for Garrett and Tyler. We wanted to get an interview with Brandon Shaw while he's down there in the Hubbard shop tonight. So first of all, Brandon, where are you from? Where do you originate from?
I'm originally from Stockton, California. Actually, a little town outside of Stockton, a little bit more inland. Near like a little farming town called Escalon. Grew up out there and kind of just been traveling and trying to get more racing in.
Awesome. Now we got to see you run the Hubbard car this weekend, or this past weekend rather. And then you ran, what was it, A-Class wing and Outlaw non-wing, correct?
Correct. Both classes.
Cool. You had a pretty good night. You went, 7th to 3rd in A-Class wing, and then it was like 9th to 6th in Outlaw non-wing. So, I mean, moving up. Anyway, the guys touched on it, how the track wasn't nearly as racy as it was the first time. I guess we didn't really develop that top shelf all the way, and everybody who went up there this last weekend, it seemed like it bit them in the butt. And but you seem to do pretty good on a class where rather on a track where there wasn't a whole lot of passing going on. So when you're back home in California, what are the tracks that you go to out there?
Yeah, I race out at Dixon Speedway and Delta Speedway in Stockton. Stockton is like 8 minutes from my house, so it's kind of like right in my backyard, and then Dixon's about 45 minutes out the way. Then we have 2 other southern tracks, Plaza and Lemoore. I don't hit up those tracks too often with just a lot of work and stuff like that. It just doesn't work out with the schedule.
I got you. It's hard working your real job and doing all of that, and then trying to be a pro race car driver on the side. Scheduling is always a conflict, you know. So what are you looking forward to this weekend? I know you're going to be running the Hubbard car again this weekend. What are you going to be running, and what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, we're gonna run both outlaw non-wing and then stock non-wing. I think the thing I'm looking forward to most is just getting more comfortable in the car after the first time out in it. Felt real comfortable. Everything here is a lot stickier than back home, so it's super easy to just throw the car in there, and a lot easier than worrying about hitting the dry slick and turning it around. So, but just elbows up racing here, which is really fun. Getting into someone, and not people taking it personal, it didn't seem like. So just knowing that it's going to be a close wheel-to-wheel action, I enjoy that.
For sure. And that's what makes the racing, in my opinion, that's why I love the racing here. While you're on the track, it's all competition. Once it's done in the pits, everybody helps everybody. But on the tracks, it's strict competition. And, if you drive somebody dirty, you expect them to return the favor. And then, and they also know, they respect the line when they need to. But, racing's racing, and they understand that. And that's one of the things I love. We don't have a whole lot of, crap talking in the pits afterwards and fights, and it just doesn't help the sport out. So yeah, I'm glad to be a part of this racing scene here, and for the reason you just outlined 100%. Hey, we have a few questions that Garrett normally asks everybody on interviews, so I'm going to go ahead and pose these questions to you and see what you have to say.
All right.
Cool. So we're going to start out with your favorite number, actual number.
My favorite number is 0.
0.
Zero.
That's a new one. Cool.
Yeah.
What would your favorite color be?
A light blue. Anything light blue looks good.
Awesome. And what kind of car do you run back home?
I ran a 2016 X6 Hyper.
Hyper guy. Heck yeah.
Yeah, Hyper guy.
That's right. I hear a little birdie told me there might be another car coming to the Hubbard stable that is not a Hyper. What do we know about that? Can you guys divulge any of that information, or am I stepping on myself here?
I have no clue.
Yeah, perfect. We'll keep it like that, though. I'm sure they'll make an announcement here soon. But
yeah, they will be. So look forward to that.
For sure, 100%. And we're also going to be doing an interview with the man himself, Mr. Zach Hubbard, before too long. But we were definitely trying to catch you while you were in town. Let's go to our next question here. What is your favorite track to run at?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think I have 2. So one of them, Dixon, I really like just the camaraderie about like the crowd, very family oriented. But racing wise, I would have to say Delta Speedway, just because there's a cushion, a lot of tune lane racing, and that's kind of elbow up also, but a lot more slide jobs and very technical track each night out. So
absolutely, man. Now, are you going to be coming back anytime to run the Hubbard car this year? Maybe at Southern Illinois Raceway or anything around here?
Yeah, a couple times we've already kind of talked about and thrown around. I'll be out here for the hustle, so that'll be my first time at the hustle. And then we talked about doing the Sprag, so we're gonna be doing that. Talked a little bit about the Show Me Showdown. They've been talking highly about that show, so probably make it out here for that. And then a couple local shows. I really want to run SIR just because the high banks, and I think I've been watching that for years, and I really want to be, up there on the cushion. So.
For sure, that's one of the best cushions around when it comes to micro racing. The little bull ring there at Southern Illinois Raceway is really awesome. Same with Wayne County Speedway is really good too. It's more of a flat track, but the racing's always great there. Let's see, favorite track food. When you go to the track, what do you look for to eat every time?
I like French fries. The French fries gotta go with the French fries. I'm not much of a meal person. If I have to, I'll get like a tri-tip or ribs, but just simple fries and some nachos or something.
Awesome. Heck yeah. And let's see, who's your favorite driver? Like, who did you look up to growing up?
I looked up to, there was 2 people. In NASCAR, it was Jeff Gordon, of course. Always watched and did his biographies and stuff like that. And then actually my stepdad, Dave Bird, he used to race my grandpa's car back in back in the day out in California. So just kind of every single weekend watching that car and kind of picking up off of him.
Hey, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I always love to find out, where your inspiration as a driver, comes from, who you watched growing up. I guess in the last portion here, I want to give you the option to just talk about who makes it possible for you to get to the track every weekend. Your sponsors, of course, the Hubbards, for bringing you into their home for a week and, getting to hang out with Zach and all of that for a week. I'm sure that's awesome. And then, of course, whoever you have back home.
I just want to thank JB Modified, Ron and Sharon Hubbard, Benton Superlube, Momentum Shocks, Steve Hamlin with the motors, and Auto Specialties, B&H Fresh, JBR, Hill Truck and Trailer Supply, Follow Your Dreams Racing, and Johnson Farms.
Awesome, buddy. Well, hey, I know you guys are busy getting everything ready, thrashing for this weekend at the Winter National. So I'm going to let you get back to it. We appreciate you taking the time out.
No, I thank you. I appreciate everything that you guys do. 357 Studios. I've been a big fan, so it's kind of cool to get on here.
Awesome. We appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll catch up with you soon. Maybe even get like a real long form podcast. That way you can talk about the history of your racing. We'd be looking forward to that.
I've got one request.
Sure.
So you guys got those shirts for sale, the wingless one, or the topless ones.
Yeah.
I have to give you one of those.
What size?
Large.
I got you. I'll bring one this weekend.
Cool. The Grinch in California told me to go steal one. So I was like, yeah, I got to get a topless one. So
Perfect. Yep. I'll bring you one this weekend, man. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. You have a good one, buddy.
You too.
Heck yeah, that was a great interview. Thank you, Brandon, for taking the time out of your day to catch up with us and let all your fans know what's going on and what you guys have coming up. Be sure to be looking out for Mr. Hollywood himself, straight from California to the DuQuoin Southern Illinois Center this weekend in that 27H car. And again, we're going to thank everybody who has been so supportive and everything with our show as we're getting started up. There's some growing pains we're going through, but all in all, I'm very, very happy with how everything's turned out. So if you guys have any questions, any comments, any of that, leave them in our comment section below. Shoot us a message. And yeah, until we see you guys next time at the Winter Nationals coming up this weekend, be sure that you tune into Flow Racing if you can't make it. And if you are there in the pits, we'll see you guys there.